I got to ask you about another former team of yours, Dallas Cowboys. They hired Brian Schottenheimer, offensive coordinator for Cowboys, and Jerry Jones ends up hiring him. And before I get your comments on this hire, I want to show Jerry Jones' comments about hiring Brian Schottenheimer. This is just interesting, Tank. You got to hear this. Take a listen.
Now, I get my proverbial ass kicked over needing people in my comfort zone. Without this thing being about me in any way, if you don't think I can't operate out of my comfort zone, you're so wrong. It's unbelievable. This is as big a risk as you could take. As big a risk as you could take. No head coaching experience. Now, let me share something with you. With all of that, you've just heard him reference his osmosis, his family. Anybody in this room that doesn't believe the apple doesn't go far from the tree has missed it someplace down the road.
Tank, I got to get your thoughts on one, Jerry Jones' comments on this hire saying this is a huge risk, pointing, and you can't see it, but Ryan Schottenheimer is obviously right next to him. That's his introductory press conference. And then your thoughts on this hire, Brian Schottenheimer. I don't know if you ever played for his father, but just your thoughts on this hire from Jerry Jones' comments. Go ahead.
Listen, man, Jerry Jones is one of, if not one of the greatest owners in NFL history. And when he's gone, we're going to miss Jerry Jones. Jerry Jones is one of the true owners that tells it like he feels it and doesn't give a shit what you say about it. You know, he's going to do it his way, and he's going to sink or swim on his own volition. And you know what? I can't do nothing but honor that man. And when I was suspended by Commissioner Roger Goodell for half a season, that man sent his plane up to Seattle and brought me down to Dallas and gave me an opportunity against what the whole rest of the league said. And listen, he's an oil tycoon. And if you know anything about oil tycoons, it's all about the gamble. It's all about taking a risk. It's all about, man, I had a dream last night that there's going to be oil right here. And sometimes, and you can see a lot of those guys are broke, bankrupt, and drunk as shit. But there's a few of them that are billionaires that have made a lot of money, and that's Jerry. So if I'm 80 some odd years old and I've rolled the dice my entire life, I think Jerry Jones is going to stick to his guns, man. And it takes a little bit to get to know Jerry. That Texas slang, he uses some euphemisms that may not be so popular across the country. I think he said "glory hole" in the interview. And if you know what a glory hole is in oil, that's digging 20 feet down and striking gold. And America on that Pornhub, they think it's all about the glory hole on Pornhub, but it ain't that, man. Jerry Jones is an 80-year-old man who's been wildly successful, and to be in his orbit is to be around a very, very capable man.
No doubt. And like you mentioned, the oil business, all about risk. I don't know if you saw Jerry Jones there's a new show about, ironically, oil tycoons called Landman. Jerry Jones made an appearance. I don't know if you've seen that, but not bad. You're a pretty good actor.
I did. I was like, I didn't get any, prior information he was going to be on there. My wife and I, we were really into that show, and to see him on there, and man, he's acting chops. I mean, really, he was just being himself, but it translated really well on screen. Good for Jerry.
Yeah, absolutely. Shout out to Jerry. Let's go back to this hire. Brian Schottenheimer, Jerry Jones elects to pass on Deion Sanders, pass on Kellen Moore, pass on all the other people that he didn't interview Prime, but he interviewed Kellen Moore and others. I got to get your thoughts on this hire. Brian Schottenheimer, obviously the son of legendary coach Marty Schottenheimer. I don't know if you ever played for Marty Schottenheimer or not, but Tank, no. But what are your thoughts on this hire? Go ahead.
Well, I'll say this, okay? When I played for the Cowboys, I watched Jerry Jones come out of his box onto the field, stand right next to Wade Phillips, cross his arms, and say, "Throw the ball to Terrell." He told Wade Phillips to throw the ball to Terrell. Jerry Jones, and I mean no disrespect by this, he needs a lapdog. Coach Prime, these coaches with this huge ego, a lot of coaches who had big bravado didn't work with him because Jerry Jones feels as if he runs the show, and he does. And I think Schottenheimer, I mean, his father was a tremendous coach in San Diego and the Chiefs. He was a big emotional coach that all of his players loved. But truth of the matter is, Jerry Jones needs a coach he can control. And this is just another coach in the long line of coaches that are Jerry Jones' lapdog.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to ask you. This screams to me like somebody that Jerry Jones can control, and I don't know if he had an issue with Mike McCarthy. It's just odd letting Mike McCarthy go in the way he did. He didn't let Mike McCarthy go interview for the Bears job. That's interesting. And now you go and hire your OC. You don't hire Prime. You make all this noise about reaching out to Deion Sanders. Prime has to
Prime was never going to coach for the Cowboys.
Prime was never leaving, first of all. I'll say that myself. But Prime will leave eventually, but it's not going to be this year, and it's not going to be this situation. But, yeah, somebody that you met, like you mentioned, Schottenheimer, somebody that Jerry Jones can control. I got to ask you about nepotism in college football coaching and NFL coaching. JB and Smitty had an interesting debate this morning because Rich Rodriguez hired his son at West Virginia and now his daughter at West Virginia to coach some front office thing. And anyway, I got to ask you about nepotism in college coaching and NFL coaching. How do you feel about it? What is your take on it overall?
Listen, nepotism, I mean, that's the new word, that buzzword that, the whole world has caught on to. But I mean, it's as old as we are, it's as old as America, right? Like, if you are a successful person and you've got the ability to bring your family to the party, that's how it's going to be. What bothers me is these retread coaches, and they continue to fail, and they get these opportunities to fail, yet they won't bring a black coach in because they assume they're going to fail off the bat, whether it's a coach,
Right.
whether it's a GM, whether it's a team president. I mean, look at the freaking Giants letting it go Saquon Barkley, right? Who gives, how does that guy have the ability to run a team? Hell, I could have made a better decision than that. You could have made a better decision than that. So it's frustrating that there's so much retread, and they call it nepotism or whatever the buzzword is, but it just bothers me because there's so many other great football minds that will never get an opportunity because of nepotism.
Yeah, and that was a big thing that I noticed with this hire. I was like, or not just at this hire, but just in general. I think you may raise a hell of a point. I think when it comes to this, there's a lot of people that are in the industry that are getting overlooked. Like you said, I don't think Dallas has struggled to hire a black head coach. In Chicago, they passed on Aaron Glenn. Again, I don't know if that has anything to do with this, but man, interesting.